Here are my notes. Between the ages of 5 and 18, most children and students across the United States will spend most of their time in school. From elementary school, middle school, and even to high school, students spend more time in the classroom than they do in their own living room. In the last 30 years, there has been so much development and changes in the school system, whether that be to technology or to equipment or to even the curriculum they're learning. There has been so much change. One of the big topics in the last 30 years, but also especially the last 4, has been the idea of school choice. School choice, for those who don't know, is the policy where parents can take a voucher and put their tax money into private, charter, and homeschooling education rather than putting into public school. The idea of school choice is extremely controversial, and as school choice is becoming more of a hot topic in today's society, parents, teachers, and government officials have the most to gain and to lose from this new rising policy. So first, we need to talk about the parents involved because they're the ones directly making decisions for the students. So there are really 2 sides to this parent issue. Many parents believe that because they are the parents, they should have the opportunity to choose where, when, and how these children will learn. In a journal published by the University of Minnesota, Professor Matthew Lau and his collaborators found that there are 2 sides to this issue. That one side says parents either believe in school choice to provide opportunities for their students or disagree because it'll negatively affect schools as a whole. In the positive note, this policy will give parents the flexibility to send their children where they want to go, to give them opportunities that they need, and to also put their taxpayer money into education that they believe will positively affect their children. This is also a great opportunity for other specific reasons. Parents that want to put their children in a place that is specific to a belief system, such as a private school that focuses on Jewish, Muslim, or Christian education, a private school like this and school choice would be a perfect situation. A student that is gifted or maybe needs a place to have a higher place of learning than, an average student, this would also be a good place because they would have better opportunities for learning. And another really important point is students that have special needs or a disability. Many public schools don't always have the exact availability to help these students. And with school choice, that'll give families the opportunity to put their special needs child in a place where they will be protected and have everything they need to succeed. And they won't be paying, all of the prices an expensive private school would cost, and be able to use these vouchers for the better. Now, some parents also have the negating view that they believe that public schools and school choice will take away valuable resources to their students. They will see less funding going into these schools, making, a lot of, resources that kids need to learn. And with the demographic of how schools are already, it's going to make it very hard to get really good funding for different schools. And also, this is another argument to be made, is that most of these students doing school choice are in an upper or upper middle class family, which is a very important thing to remember. So on the opposite end of this topic is, teachers. Many public school teachers have the perspective that school choice will negatively affect classrooms around the United States. In an article written by David Buck, it was found that 79% of teachers, Democrats and Republicans alike, disagree with policies presented in school choice. This is because schools are not currently receiving the funding that they need as it is, and by taking away valued taxpayer dollars that schools provide, it's going to leave less resources for the teachers. I mean, technology, science, renovations on schools, all these things that schools need will now maybe not have enough funding that should be provided. Also, teaching salaries will also be negatively affected by this. Now, on a kind of another topic, teachers are already underfunded as it is, and by taking this money that goes to their salaries, well, these teachers that are molding the minds of our future generation, our future leaders, will now be underfunded and undersupported. And lastly, there's going to be less diversity. Students aren't going to have the same diversity in the classroom because students that have a better economic background, a different gender identity, and even different race could be taken out of these schools and not make it a diverse area. Also, teachers could be negatively affected by this too for the same reasons. Lastly, one of the biggest stakeholders in this discussion will be the people actually passing and making the laws for school choice. This is government leaders. There are really two sides to this issue. For example, Republicans are usually on the side to support school choice because it makes decisions for freedom of the parents, while Democrats are usually against it because it will negatively affect schools in general. In an article published by the Texas Tribune by a writer, Brian Lopez, the general opinion of the Republican Party is stated in a quote by Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. No one knows what is better. Quoting him, no one knows what is better for a child's education than their parents, Abbott said. Parents deserve freedom to choose the education that is best for their child. This is one of the biggest arguments for the Republican Party, and this is basically what they believe, that parents should be able to choose for their children of how their education will go, which is a good point. On the Democratic side, on the Democrat side, the belief is that they're taking valuable resources from school, taking taxpayers that, are going to make a less successful environment for the students. And really, this is for government. It's a topic that's going back and forth in legislation, even in our own state of Texas. School choice is very difficult with many pros and cons. Students should be able to learn in an effective and successful environment, and this can be argued on both sides. But it is important to remember that the people that are greatly affected by school choice is the students. And whether you're a parent, teacher, or government leader, you have to keep the students in mind so that we can have effective and successful generation of leaders. Thank you.